Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us today, and welcome to this educational presentation, the very first one of the new year, 2025, where today I want to talk to you about advanced breakout trading. I would venture to say that most of you have tried breakouts. Maybe you've spent a lot of money on that breakout system, or you try to figure out where something's going to break out or break down. The trouble is, most traders, in my opinion, are trading with faulty methods. They're not seeing the type of results they'd like. I know this from firsthand experience because when I first started trading, I was taught a lot of breakout techniques and methods that really didn't produce such great results. For example, let's take a look at this chart here. And first of all, I'm sorry, let's talk about a breakout definition. I kind of went ahead of myself there. For those of you who really aren't familiar with what a breakout means, here's the standard definition of a breakout. Now, a breakout refers to when the price of an asset, this could be either a stock, crypto, currency pair, future, the asset moves above a resistance area. That's the standard definition for a breakout. Now, conversely, a breakdown refers to when the price of an asset moves below a support area. So if you look here, you kind of look with a closer eye, you see that there's kind of a common denominator where we're really talking about support and resistance. This is the basis for most breakout techniques or methods. Now, let me show you why you don't get a lot of really consistent results when using support and resistance for breakout methods. Here's the chart I originally wanted to look at, okay? As we're checking this out, someone would say, okay, well, obviously, here is the breakout area right here, the resistance. So I don't want to purchase this shares of Lulu in this stock because it hasn't broken out yet. For all I know, it could come back up here to this resistance level and turn around and go back down. So what most breakout methods say is wait for it to trade above or to close above that resistance area. That's your breakout, all right? So you wait patiently, and then you see that this happens. It not only closes above, but it breaks out above without giving you a chance to do anything. So you say to yourself, well, wow, this is way too high. In fact, if I had purchased it, been able to purchase it right around here, this is where I'd most likely be wanting to sell it with a nice profit. But you say to yourself, well, here's what's going to happen, okay? Because this $10,000 course I took said, well, if you miss the breakout, wait for it to come back to pull back, fill this gap, and that's where you'll purchase it at lower levels before it goes back up again. Okay, so you say, I'll just wait patiently, but it never goes down. As you see, it continues to go higher and higher and higher until you miss the whole thing entirely. Well, here's what I'm going to be sharing with you today. This is a non-traditional breakout method that actually wouldn't have waited for the traditional support or resistance type of breakout method, but it would have gotten you in right here towards the lows. And that's what we're going to be talking about today. I want to be sharing with you today, the first presentation of the new year, talking about advanced breakout trading. Now, we do this by using a very special proprietary indicator. And you'll only be able to have access to this indicator on our platform, the PTS Primo Charting platform that actually identifies these advanced breakouts in advance for you. So welcome to this first presentation of the new year. My name is Stephen Primo, president and founder of Specialist Trading. And with this new year, 2025, I have now been trading for a total of 48 years, if you can believe it, 48 years. When I first started out, I thought I was going to be just involved for a summer. I started out as a floor runner on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. It was just a summer job after I had graduated college, but now I've turned it into a career, and now I'm an educator and a mentor. So it looks like I made the right decision in getting that summer job. As I said, I've been trading now for 48 years. I started on the floor of the Pacific Stock Exchange. I was on the floor for a total of 16 years, and 9 of those years I was a specialist. A specialist is someone who made markets, roughly about 50 or 60 stocks. So I made markets in stocks like Waste Management, US Air, IBM. I traded and made markets through the great sell-off and the great Black Monday we had in the crash of 1987. Then I traded through a lot of bull markets that followed. In the mid-90s, I left the floor to manage money, to also to trade my own account. And roughly about 15 years ago, I teamed up with ProTrader Strategies and we formulated Specialist Trading. That's my company with one goal in mind, simply to educate traders. You see, it's my opinion that most traders fail, not because they have a faulty system or they haven't been trading long enough or not enough capital. It's because you are taking yourself out of the game. You're letting someone or something else make the trading decisions for it. Think about it. Go ask yourself personally, how do you make your trading decisions? Did you buy this $10,000 method that simply spits out buy and sell orders and it tells you where to buy, where to exit, where to place your stop? That's basically taking yourself out of the game. Or if you're waiting for all the news to come out and you say, well, I can't make a decision until I hear what the earnings are, or I can't make a decision until I hear what some economic indicator says. Well, you're letting someone make or something make the decisions for you. See, our goal is to provide you with this information, such as what I'm going to be sharing with you today, so that you can make your own decisions, whether you want to take the trade or not, where you want to enter, where you want to exit. It's not a black box system. Nothing that I teach is a system. It's a strategy, meaning that we share with you these high probability points of entry, but then let you trade it. And we teach you how to do that and give you different variables in all our courses so that you can be in charge of your own trading. And my 48 years now of trading, the only traders who are still successful, still trading, are the ones that make their own trading decisions. So this is our goal at Specialist Trading, and you'll see that in today's educational presentation. Now, before we begin, we are required to share this with you, so please take a moment to view our disclaimer. I'm going to share with you a lot of performance results using this breakout and breakdown tool, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future. And since we are an educational company, all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, if you'd like to get more education on a daily basis, please feel free to follow us on X or Twitter, however you'd like to call it. Every day I post between 5 to 7 different snapshots of setups or techniques that we generate and teach our students around the world. I also post a little bit of financial wisdom, things I've accumulated along the way. So there's lots of great ways to get free education on a daily basis. Also, if you're more interested in following us on YouTube, please hit the subscribe button. We are now live streaming this on YouTube. You can watch it on there. And for more content, just hit the subscribe button and we'll have a lot more for you as well. Okay, so lots of great ways to get free and more education on a daily basis. Okay, remember, as I stated, we are not the type of company where today I'm going to talk to you about what I think the market's going to do. Is it going to go lower? Is it bottoming out? Is it going to go straight up? That's not what a good mentor does. A good mentor does not tell you or trade for you. He teaches you how to trade. So that's the goal behind all of our education of Specialist Trading. Nothing is a black box system where we simply tell you buy here, sell here. We give you different variables for you to decide how you want to trade. Conservatively, aggressively, standard benchmark, it's entirely up to you. This is how you become an, consistent trader or a specialist edge trader. This is the same way I was taught some 48 years ago, and this is the same way, hopefully, I teach all my students, and hopefully I'll be able to establish the same consistency that my mentors established in me. Okay. Now, before we begin, I have a great presentation for you, but please remember that I'd like to take your questions at the end. We have a good crowd here today on our first class of the year. I don't want to stop for every slide or else we'll be here far too long. I know you want to get back to the markets. Also, so this is being recorded as well, so you'll have plenty of time to go back. We'll send each and every one of you a link to this recording. You'll have plenty of time to go back and watch it if you had any questions and things didn't make sense. So please, if you have a question, please wait till the end and I'll get to all of your questions then, all right? Okay, with that stated, let's begin today's educational presentation. And what if there was a breakout indicator designed to identify advanced breakouts or breakdown areas, okay? We're not just talking about, okay, it broke out, buy here. We want to share with you these secret areas. Well, the good news is there is. We call it the PSBI, that stands for the Primo Secret Breakout Indicator. And let me share with you some of the insights involved in this particular tool. It's based on a concept that we call everyone out of the pool. Now, I talked about this in my book. If you haven't read my book, you can go to Proprietary Strategies and purchase it there, or get a PDF copy. I believe they'll send it to you if you're a student. I wrote this book some time ago, Secrets of Stock Exchange Specialists, where I talk a lot about the concepts and most especially my trading days on the floor of the exchange and all the ups and downs I had to go through, especially during the crash of '87. But one of the concepts I talked about was everyone out of the pool. And this was something my mentors taught me. And you see, breakouts are not based on resistance or breaking out of an area. They're really based on the concept that the last buyer, or I should say the last seller, has sold. And so there are no more real uh, uh, vital sellers involved in the market. So now it's time for the stock to break out to the upside. The same way this concept can work to the downside. It happens when the last seller has sold, or I should say bought, there are no more buyers around with significance in size. And so now the stock can actually go lower and break down. So that's what this is based off of. Not any support and resistance, not any type of indicator moving average crossover, nothing of that sort. Now, it's designed to identify these true breakout areas. You notice we say areas. It's not some line that's supposed to break out above, but it's an area that the breakout is supposed to be happening very soon. So it gives you advanced warning of this. Now, it's based on a proprietary indicator, which we keep in-house, but trust me, it would be too difficult for you to try and put this calculate this indicator on a daily basis, or if you're an intraday trader on an intraday basis, and then get into the trade. It's too cumbersome. There's too many things to calculate. So we've really made it simple for you. You can apply this proprietary indicator to virtually any market and any direction and in any time frame as well. Now, it can be used as an exit or a stop and reverse tool. Now, we know a lot of traders don't like to go short, so they really don't want to trade breakdowns. They don't feel comfortable. They feel it's un-American to short a stock or to go against the market. That's okay. Remember, we're not here to tell you how to trade. We're here just to teach you different things to help you along your way. So if you don't like to go short and you happen to get a breakdown area, well, you can use that as an exiting area. All right. Now you can also use it as a stop and reverse. A number of our students like to just wait for a breakout. They stay long until they see a breakdown, and then they get out and go short and they stop and reverse. A number of ways in which to use the PSBI. And then lastly, we have the ability to scan on our platform for nightly setups. So this is one of the other advantages to using this tool. You can scan coming home from work or at the end of the trading day and see where the setups are for the next day. All right, so let me share with you some recent PSBI examples. I'm going to do something here a little bit different. Usually I have a number of slides that I've presented for you that I've gone back a bit. I'm going to show you some recent ones on our platform using the PTS Primo charting platform that identifies these advanced breakouts and show you the actual process you have to go through in order to identify these breakouts, okay? Now, before we begin, once again, just to show you our disclaimer, I'm going to show you these performance results using these live charts, but please remember that we can in no way guarantee that any of the results I'm about to share with you will be repeated in the future, and all examples are strictly for educational purposes only. Now, if you'll bear with me, I'm just going to go over to the charts, and if you're looking right now, you should be seeing the chart of, if you look in the left-hand corner of INTZ, this is a chart that has been going straight down. And this is on our platform, the PTS Primo charting platform. And so someone looking at this would say, okay, how could I use the PSBI to help us? Let me show you the process. Now, obviously, if something is going lower, you're looking to be a buyer. You're looking to see when it bottoms out, when the last seller has sold, just based on that concept. This is not meant to be taken literal. We don't have any idea when the last seller has sold, but according to our proprietary tool, it tells us, it gives us an idea when the selling has really gone down. So if you think we've come down or you're tracking it on a nightly basis, you would come up here to the PSBI and our green strategy tab. These are all our strategies are, but you come to the PSBI, click it on, and then since you're looking to be a buyer, click on buy area. That's what you're looking for. And if we look at the very bottom, we have this green type of square here. This is not telling us that it has broken out. It is telling us that we are now identifying an area where there is a high probability of breakout. And to be safe, on the safe side, we will not go long until it trades above the high of this area, this green box, which is 0.449. We're starting out with a rather inexpensive stock, and we'll go into more expensive ones. But just to share with you how this can be applied to inexpensive, cheap stocks or very high-priced, expensive stocks. It makes no difference, okay? So what you want to do is wait for it to trade above. So let's take this one bar at a time. We see on the very next day, look what happened. It did trade above. It went much higher and then went lower and closed in that area again. So does this mean all bets are off? Well, not necessarily, because the basic way to use this tool, which we teach you in the course, there are a number of ways in which to use it. This is the basic way. If you're using the standard benchmark, is to go long once it trades above 0.449. And that would be your entry. Now, in the course, we teach you upwards of 6 or 7 different ways to place your stops, 6 or 7 different ways to exit, and different ways in which to manage the trade with money management. Okay, so remember, you're in charge. You're choosing, kind of backing and filling with all these different variables on how you want to trade. We are not telling you, you enter here, you get out here, you place your stop here, you buy so many shares. That is up to you. This is the only way you can become a consistent trader, according to our educational philosophy. We're just sharing with you high probability points of entry. So the standard benchmark would have been to enter right here. Let's look and see what happened just within the next 3 days, because this would have been day 1. You entered here, and so far you're breaking even or you have a small loss. Look what happened the next day. Not bad, huh? Now, obviously, some news must have come out. Something happened. Isn't it funny how we knew well in advance when we painted the green box around these first 3 days here, all right? And then look what happened. One more day, it went even higher. So it was starting out, you could have bought it at roughly 45 cents. It went up to nearly 7.5. So that basically was a 1,500 percentage gain in price in just 3 days. 1,500%. Imagine if you're long Tesla or you're long NVIDIA, and in 3 days, the price surged 1,500%, okay? Well, it's all relative. This is a very inexpensive stock, so you could have purchased a lot of shares. All right, that's one example. Let's look at another inexpensive stock, DRCT. Once again, it's heading lower. So because it's going lower, we're looking for a breakout to the upside. Therefore, we want to be a buyer. All right, so here's what we do. We click on the PSBI, click on buy, and we see once again, here we have the secret breakout area, according to the calculations of this proprietary indicator. Now, have we broken out yet? Not yet. Now, once again, there are different ways to use this. We teach you how to purchase using a specific technique while it's in the box, but that's up to you. Let's just talk about the standard way. The most conservative way is to wait for it to trade above the height of that box, which is be at 0.64, okay? So let's see what happened on the very next day. Well, guess what? It did trade there. You would have been long, okay? Let's say at 65 cents. It went up to 5.5 points in 1 day, okay? So that's a 700% gain, price gain in 1 day. 700% on a less than $1 stock. You could have purchased this roughly between 65 and 70 cents, okay? This is how powerful this tool is. Obviously, once again, some news must have come out that caused this to just surge up tremendously. But we didn't know anything about this. This just happened like 2 or 3 weeks ago. We had no idea. We don't follow any of the news. I stopped looking at news announcements and events and earnings over 4 decades ago, close to 5 decades ago, and I'm still here trading. So there's no real reason to use them. We don't teach anything that is based on fundamental news or announcements. If you want to use them, remember, go ahead. Feel free to do that. But there's absolutely no requirement with anything that we teach. Let's look at another example in CEG, okay? Now, obviously, we were heading lower, and then we broke out to the upside the last 3 days. This is coming into the 6th of this week. How could we have taken advantage of that? Well, looking back in hindsight, we would have clicked this on, and we would have seen that this was already in a box for 4 days before it broke out here on the 2nd of January, which was just last week. And in 3 days, basically, you could have gained upwards of over 30 points. The stock went from roughly 230 up to 267. So roughly potentially captured 67 points, okay? This just happened last week. Let's look at Google. How could we have taken advantage of this really nice upward move coming into this month? Well, once again, all we would have had to do, looking back in hindsight, click on buy. And we see here that right a month ago, at the beginning of December, we could have gotten long the first week in December, exactly a month ago at 171. And the stock coming in towards the end of the month was actually up over 30 points. Once again, nothing based on any news. Sure, I'm sure some news caused this to go up, and that's why it gapped up here and kept going higher on these days. But it's funny how we got you in the breakout right here. Now, if you used a standard conventional breakout, well, most likely, let's see, going back, you would have used this as a breakout up here, right? So if we take out our cursor, you would have had to wait to buy it when it broke out right here, roughly about 184, 185. Well, we could have got you in 14 or 15 points lower using the PSBI. Let's look at another one. Let's look at AVGO. Okay, now using a standard conventional breakout, we're looking at a double top right here, a top here, top here. So roughly someone could say, well, this is resistance roughly right here. I'm going to wait for it to really trade above. That's roughly about the 186, 187 level. So I'm not going to do anything until it breaks out. That's what my mentor said in that $10,000 course I took based on support and resistance, right? This is the way most traders trade. And this is why you're really leaving a lot of money on the table. Let's apply the PSBI, okay? All we have to do is click on buy, and we see here, this was in the 1 month ago, in the beginning of December, we had a green area box right here, 1, 2, 3, 4 days, and on the 5th day, it traded above. Did not close above there, but using the standard way to enter, it doesn't matter. Once it trades above, that's your point of entry, okay? So we're long AVGO roughly about 167 and a quarter, okay? Let's see what happened. Well, it's starting to go our direction. Now we have a nice profit. Now remember, we teach you different areas for exiting. It's up to you. If you want to get out in a couple of days, take a quick profit, or stay in longer. The good news would have been if you stayed in longer, because look what happened to the stock. It actually gapped up, and you could have potentially captured upwards of 85 points in just a couple of weeks. Once again, had you waited for this to break out roughly here on this double top, you would have purchased it right here, roughly about 214, okay? Or you could have bought it down here at 167. That's how powerful this tool is. We're not waiting for the traditional way of something to break out. Now we can look at other markets. Let's look at the dollar yen. How could we have taken advantage of this was going down and then it broke out to the upside? Well, we simply, back in hindsight, apply the PSBI and see that we could have gotten long right here. And coming into this first week of January, as you see right here in the bottom, we could have potentially captured upwards of 685 pips. That's close to $7,000 per unit, okay? Now we can also use this to the downside. Here's the euro dollar. Would you have liked to be able to go short or look for a breakdown to the downside? Well, all you had to do was use the PSBI. Now we click on sell area. And look what it did here. When it makes a red area, a red block, we use the same process. We just wait for it to trade below. It does not have to close below, just has to trade there. And look what happened. This was going back to September. As far back as September, the PSBI was telling our students, our forex students, to exit the euro dollar. Now, the euro dollar has done nothing but gone straight down. This was September. This is the first week of January. We've continued to go lower and lower. Total of roughly about 900 pips or $9,000 per unit potentially you could have captured. This is the power behind the PSBI. Now, as we said, a lot of students like to trade it differently. They like to use it as a stop and reverse. So as we look at Microsoft, we see that it was going straight up and then it started to go straight down. Well, let's apply the PSBI. And if we wanted to go long, we could have gone long right down here. This was in November and ridden it up. And someone would say, well, where would I exit? Well, one of the exiting ways, just one of the ways we teach you, would have been to stop and reverse. Once we had a breakdown signal, we would have used that and just simply exited. We could have gotten out of our long and made a quick 27 points, or gotten out and then reversed and gone short and potentially made 30 points. So this is another way in which to apply the PSBI. Let's look at CAD Tractor, okay? How could we have captured this going all the way down? Well, once again, now we're looking to be a seller right here at the very top. This was 1 month ago at 403.40, roughly 403. You could have ridden this all the way down. It continues to go down into this week for roughly, we're talking about 45 points, or I should say 40 points to the downside. Let's look at ODFL, okay? All right, let's say we're looking at this. This was just a month ago. And we say, okay, Steve, I'm long this, but you know what I'm going to do? I'm not going to go short until maybe we break down here, or I'm not going to get out because this is major, major support. I mean, I took that course, I spent a lot of money, and this is where all the institutions are buying right here where this double bottom is. So I'm going to be long until it breaks down here, okay? Well, sure, you're more than free to do that, but wouldn't you have liked to capture your profit towards the high before it broke down all this way down here? Because if you applied the PSBI, let's just click on sell. And let's say you didn't want to go short. Well, guess what? Say you were long at these areas right here. You could have had a sell setup right here and said, when it trades below 222.33, I'll exit my long position. And look what happened. It did the very next bar. So you would have exited with a nice profit. And you said, okay, well, I'm out of the trade. And let's say you wanted to go short. Well, look what you could have done. Taken advantage of this breakdown all the way into January. Okay. You see how powerful this is? This is now, this is not repaint. I know a lot of people say, well, does this repaint and does this change with the setup? Well, it gives you a number of setups. Sure, it will give you setups, and then they will have more and more setups. What we've done is we've put it on the process where you only see the very last setup, because that way you're able to know where you are currently in the trade. So sure, there may have been a setup right here where you went short, and we would have told you where to, to cover or where to get out or where to exit. And then you could have gotten back in again and then gotten out again using this one. So there are many ways to apply this and many ways to be profitable. In this case, the sell has not changed. It's still there from when this happened roughly a month ago. Now, once again, let's look back in hindsight. This was moving up very nicely as we see MDB, and it broke down right here. Now, most people say, well, gosh, I'm going to wait for it to break below this support here before I exit. But with the PSBI, if you were long, you could have gotten out right here on the opening once it was traded below the standard benchmark, and potentially saved yourself roughly over 90 points in a loss had you held on to it. So that's the power of the PSBI. We've just showed you in different markets, stocks, currency pairs. You can apply this to futures, crypto. It makes absolutely no difference because it's not based on the actual market. The indicator is based on price. Okay. Now, if you bear with me, let me go back to the presentation we were talking about. And let's review what we went over in today's educational class. Remember, the PSBI is based on a concept I taught in my book, where I talk about everyone out of the pool. In other words, if we're looking for a breakout doesn't really necessarily occur when it breaks out of resistance. A breakout happens when you have the last seller or very few sellers in the market. That's when it's ready to break out. And a breakdown occurs not on support being broken, but a breakdown occurs when you have very few buyers in the pool. That's what we mean by everyone out of the pool. And that's designed to identify these true breakout areas. As you see in advance, when you have that either green or that red area box, it's telling you in advance, well, we are now getting set up for a breakout. If it does not break out above here, well, we'll recalculate and see how things go. But you have to wait for that initial breakout above that box to trade it the standard benchmark way. You can apply it to any market, any time frame, and any direction, as you just saw. And you can apply it as an exit. If you don't like to go short, simply use it as an exiting tool, or you can use it as a stop and reverse, as I showed you with that trade in Microsoft. And the good news is you can scan for nightly setups. You'll be able, in less than a minute's time, scan for all the setups for that coming day. It's that easy to do. So ask yourself, starting this new year, do you think the PSBI can help your trading starting in 2025, going in the right direction? I know most of you probably struggled in 2024. That's okay. Do you think this can help you for the coming year? This would be a great way to start off in the right direction. So let me talk to you about a great special attendee offer we have for all of you taking the time out of your Wednesday. We're going to offer you our new PSBI tool, our non-traditional breakout tool that generates a lot of setups that you can apply to breakouts as well as breakdowns. Remember, any market, any time frame, you can use it as a stop loss tool, and we can scan for daily and nightly setups. Now, here's the best thing about this. We're going to throw in an extra bonus if you decide to become a student of mine in the PSBI course. We're going to include the price projections. These are a proprietary way of defining where the market will go that you're tracking once a breakout or a breakdown has happened. Doesn't necessarily mean it's going to stop at that area, but it's going to show you where price acts as a magnet to come to that area. So let's say you could move your stop based on this price projection, or you could exit the trade entirely. It's entirely, once again, up to you. And we teach you how to apply it, different ways to apply it in the course. For example, here's an older chart of Apple. These are older charts for examples, just for educational teaching. There was a buy setup right here, right? But we didn't break out yet. So we figure, well, I'm not sure if I want to get in this trade because I don't know where exactly to exit. I don't really have a good idea, so I'll use the price projection. So all we have to do is click on the PSBI the way I showed you earlier. But now in the drop-down menu, instead of clicking the buy area, we're going to click on the buy PP for the price projection. And you'll see a price projection automatically appear. Now, once again, this does not tell you that it's only going to stop here. Oftentimes it will. But it mainly will tell you that price is acting as a pull or has a magnet field towards that area. And you can decide what you want to do then. So let's see what happened. In 2 days after it broke out, Apple went exactly to that price projection. You could have exited the position, moved your stop to unchanged, or if you had multiple shares, maybe sold half of them and kept the remaining half to see. But either way, look what happened. See how the price projection helped you? Here's another example in MS, okay? This was a breakdown area that was generated. Now you say to yourself, well, okay, maybe I'll buy the puts because you don't have to trade the stock. We realize not everyone wants a short stock, but maybe you want to buy the puts or some type of spread to the downside, but you don't know where to get out to cover your position. So one of the best things to do is to use the price projection. Click on PSBI, click on sell PP, sell price projection. And this is different for every stock. As you see, this one is much lower based on a proprietary formula. So you say to yourself, yeah, that looks like a nice little profit I could take if I did go short. So you wait for the breakdown, and in 2 days, it hit the price projection. Now, at this point, once again, you could have decided to take profits, or you could have said, you know what, whatever my stop was, maybe I'm going to move it halfway down here, or maybe take profits on half your position. Either way, it's up to you. And then look what happened after that. Okay. Here's an example now in DDOG. Okay. We have a sell area being generated. You're not short yet. Click on PSBI, click on sell area, or I should be price projection, the wrong one. And okay, that looks good. So I think I'll take the trade. I think that would be a nice profit. Let's see what happened. You had the breakdown right there. And in 3 days, we went to the price projection. And look what happened after that. So this is really a valuable tool. Now, I'm not going to tell you that it stops there every time. Sometimes it'll get there, pause for a minute, and then go lower. Here's an example now on KLAC. Here's an older example. Once again, click it on. Click on the buy price projection. Wow, now that looks like it would be a nice profit. So you want to take this trade. The breakout occurred on the very next day. And look what happened. We went right up there in roughly a little over a week and then right back down. You will only find the PSBI price projections on the PTS Primo charting platform. So it is very, very valuable to have this as an extra tool. Therefore, here's what we're going to do. The PTS Primo charting platform identifies these true breakouts plus the price projection. So we're going to throw in a full year free. You're going to save close to $1,800 with this purchase, but you must become a student. And this must be in a very short time because this is only for a limited time offer. We're offering you a full year free of the platform. Now, the platform is the only place you can get these price projections, and it's the only place you can also scan the nightly setups as well. You'll get the indicator, the scanner, the PSBI price projection. You'll get other tools like our enhanced buy sell line, which automatically tells you the overall trend of any market or time frame. Gives you 4 different ways to find that out. Also, a strength of trend tool telling you if a trend is about to run out of steam or it has still more gas left in the tank. This can also help you with your trading. Auto-generated signals, you saw those auto-generated signals, and a host of many more techniques and methods that you won't find anywhere else because these are mostly things I've taken from my days on the floor. So you'll only find them on the PTS Primo charting platform, not on any of the major platforms. I just don't have time to list all of them, but there are just literally dozens that you'll get as well included on the platform. Trust me, a year from today, you will have wished you became a member of the PSBI course. All right, we're right at the beginning of January 2025. Wouldn't you like to be here in January 2026 saying, gosh, I've had such a great year. The PSBI really helped me. It just helped me with a lot of my trading ideas on how to trade. I'm so glad I took advantage of this great offer. So here's what we're going to do for you today. All right. Introducing the PSBI. Here's our Primo Secret Breakout Indicator special offer. Now, the regular price runs close to $5,000. That's how valuable this tool is. We're going to give you two different ways to purchase it. The first way is we're going to deduct $500 off. You're going to save 10%, our special discount, down to $44.95. But if that's still a little bit too expensive for you to pick up right now, we totally understand that. For a limited time only, we're offering payment plans. So you don't have to come up with $44.95. You can come up with a fraction of that cost and just establish a payment plan, and you can still be up and running as early as today. That's how easy it is to get the new PSBI tool. Okay, you can either pay in full, get the 10% discount, $44.95, or for a fraction of that cost, establish a payment plan, a one-time payment plan, and then just a one-time down payment, and then a payment plan on a monthly basis going forward. That's how easy it is. But remember, this is for a limited time only. Either way you decide to go, taking the payment plan or paying in full, you will still get a full 12 months free of the platform, where you get those price projections as well as the scanning ability. Okay, here's how to take advantage of this great special New Year offer. Contact ProTrader Strategies. They're my sister site. You can reach them at area code 310-598-6677. They have trading consultants manning the lines right there. They would be more than happy to take your order over the phone, or to answer questions about payment plans, or to give you a quote over the phone. But trust me, they're there to work with you. They're very easy. They're very flexible. So don't feel there's any obligation to purchase today. So don't feel intimidated like, well, if I call, I'm going to have to buy something, so I won't call. No, they're very simple to work with, and they'd be happy just to answer questions or give you a quote. Okay, that's 310-598-6677. Now, that link you see at the very bottom is the link that will take you to the info page. It's not a live link, but if you go to your chat box, you'll see that they just posted a live link there. Okay. Now, we have a couple more minutes left for questions and answers. If you have any questions, please go to the chat box or the question and answer box. Type in whatever you're interested in, and I will answer them to the best of my ability, okay? I see we have one here. Can you show this tool on a couple of live charts from today so we're looking ahead and not behind from things? I'm sorry, I don't have the capability right now. These were charts. They were live, meaning that they were taken from our platform, but the actual data is turned off because a lot of times they will be out of sync for me to share with you. So unfortunately, we can't. You can ask ProTrader Strategies, though, and they can send you some charts if you'd like to get some more information, though, and they would send you some charts. Okay, we'll still be accommodating to you, but we just can't do it in this presentation right now. Any more questions? Steve, I've only been trading for a couple of weeks. This sounds great, but what if I have trouble understanding? That's a very common question. No worries about that. Everyone gets the same basic information. So I don't want you to think that, well, I don't have enough experience, I can't understand this. Everything is extremely simple. In fact, we've gotten a lot of accolades saying how simple and how easy it is to understand our methods. We take you step through the process. And if you ever have any problems, each and every one of you will get my personal email address. We'll be able to email me whenever you'd like with any question. You can ask me to look at something for you. You can ask me to go over your work. And so it's the next best thing to having me sit there with you, okay? So we don't just, like so many other companies do, just throw you to the wolves and say, okay, here it is. Just watch the video and you'll learn everything. No, we're there with you every step of the way. If you ever have trouble, you can always contact me, okay? Lots of ways to learn, and you can apply it to any markets. Someone's asking, can you use this on the E-mini futures? Yes, you can. If you saw today's movement today, there was a lot of really strong downward movement. This had some really nice intraday signals on either stocks or futures today when you would have seen the market break to the downside. So it's a great tool for intraday. It's a great tool for weekly or monthly charts. You can use it on those as well, any market, any time frame. You saw examples on currency pairs. You can also, if you want, you can contact ProTrader Strategies. They can send you some examples for crypto, also some examples for some other markets you may be interested in as well. Also works on indices. You can use it on the S&P 500. So it's a great way to get in sync with the market and to turn your trading around for 2025, okay? I know a lot of you are struggling. That's okay. That's perfectly all right. I'd say upwards of 80 to 85% of all traders struggle. This is one way to turn your trading around. So contact ProTrader Strategies. As we said earlier, there's absolutely no obligation. They'd be happy to work with you or just give you a quote or answer any question you may have about how it works or what else is offered included in this, okay? Okay, if there are no further questions, I just want to say thank you so much for attending today. And as we take one last look at our disclaimer, I really hope you become students of mine in the PSBI course because it can turn your trading around and take your trading to the next level. Thank you so much for attending today. I wish you all the best of luck. Have a great new year, and I'll see you in class. Bye-bye.